Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Creative to Creative. I am your host, Ray, aka Remcreate, and I am here with my special guest, iiiiClothing, Brian. How you
Hi.
Yo, man. It's crazy because, like, when we first met, it was like 5 years ago, man. But,
It
like,
was way back in the beginning.
it's been wonderful, man, seeing the growth from, like, what it was to what it is now, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and, like, thank you for coming on, and, like, let's get into it, man. So, the one thing that I really respect about the hustle that you have is that you're your own boss now, man. Like that's fucking cool.
Right? I
Yeah.
think it really makes everyone jealous because they think I just slack off all day.
Oh no, but it's like it's not it's you're not paid hourly. It's like your hours are like when your eyes open to when your eyes close.
Pretty much, pretty much.
That's
And
that.
they like never close.
Oh man. So like it's one of those things where like leading up to being your own boss, like there's there's like this grind of like really shitty jobs that people have until like they get to like where you're at right now. So like I'm just want to pick your brain, like what was your like first job, the your job history, like not like all of it but like what, like the highlights and whatnot.
You know what? The main reason I got into Four Eyes was actually because my resume isn't that long.
Really?
It's actually really short.
Hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of it was like help from family. So my first job, I would say, was I was working at my dad's printing shop,
Hmm.
just doing like really little graphic design and basically a lot of like warehouse bitch work, like cutting, like counting, really boring stuff.
Yeah.
And then I moved up on there and learned how to do some graphic design, Photoshop, and
Hmm.
help some customers, customer service. But that wasn't very long. But he was a good boss. Obviously, he's my dad.
Exactly.
He taught me a lot of things, like what good small businesses should do. So that was
Hmm.
a really good start for me. And when I got to college, I got a job at Forever 21.
Hmm.
It was a little rough because it was like their grand opening at the new store. So we
uh
had to help them set up. Everything was really cool about it because I got to know like the insider details and who does what and what
hmm.
they're looking for.
Yeah.
And it was a really different experience being the only boy, um, like the only boy there, and I really had to like show myself off.
what
That was like, oh, I can stand, I can stand with the girls.
what year was that for every 21?
I think that was like 2013.
Yeah, like I think like Forever 21 didn't have like a men's section until like what, 2015.
Yeah, or they did. It was really small though,
Oh
like
yeah,
really
that's true.
small.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like one rack amongst all the estrogen.
yeah, it was like all the way in the back in like one of the squares out of all nine.
Hmm.
So it was rough. That didn't last very long because the Forever 21 didn't really do that well in Santa Cruz.
Oh
So
really? Okay.
yeah, but it's fine. I got an internship with a music production company or
Hmm.
like a yeah. So they work with artists. They just needed help with their blog, so they just need some interns
Hmm.
so they can teach them to do whatever. So that's where I learned how to like write and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mention what I did at Forever 21. Um, I was a sales associate.
Hmm.
At first, I told them about my job with my dad. I was good with customers, so I almost got to cashier,
Yeah.
but I was just really nervous and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for it.
Hmm. Got
But
it.
I learned, got in touch with people, and I really noticed some of my strengths and flaws, and it helped me like move on from like what I didn't want and what I did want. And I didn't want to work for a department store. Uh, so yeah, but once I got into the music internship,
Hmm.
that one was like really easy for me because I was like in college, I was partying a lot, going to a lot of raves. So
Hmm.
music was like life as like any other college student back then.
Hmm.
I was listening to music all day, all night. So I was riding up a storm.
Mm.
going to shows when I could. The sucky part about it was they didn't. They told me I can get to shows for free, the
Oh,
local ones,
yeah.
but every time I went, my name, quote unquote, wasn't on the list. So I was like, I'll lay down here. You're not gonna let me in. I'm just gonna write about it. So I had to like pay for my ticket. Sometimes they wouldn't pay me back, or it'll take forever.
uh,
So that sucks.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but I did really notice that I had good taste in music.
Mm.
Um, and my other like intern mates,
Yeah.
other interns,
Mm-hmm.
they're like terrible. They're just trying to get by.
Oh man. So like, speak on that, man. Like, what developed your music taste? Like, what do you gravitate towards? I know you said raves, but like, where are some DJs? Where are some artists that you listen to, man?
Oh man, I think this was back in like 2000, like early 2010s,
Yeah.
or like at least 2010s to 2015. So that was back when raving just really got into the scene.
Mm.
They were like really popularized and mainstream. So
Oh yeah.
it was all like the popular DJs like Tiesto,
Mm.
Cascade, some trance like Above and Beyond. Um, there's obviously a lot more, but I've gone out of that scene for a while now, and there are some DJs I still love to listen to now.
Nice. Like, name a couple of them. Like what where are you listening now?
I listen to RL Grime a lot. I
Mm.
actually just put his music on my website
That's
just
what's
for
up.
fun for my customers.
Nice.
I also listen to Rez.
Mm.
Oh, I listen to a lot of remixes of popular songs.
I feel that.
I mean, during this COVID thing, there's a rave online like every weekend, so I listen to all that.
Oh shit! Like, what's that called? Like, I might check it out.
I think they're just called like virtual rave-a-thon.
Okay.
Yeah, I send you a link.
Most stuff like, because like it's one of those things where like, what is it? I don't really speak on it on the podcast, but like one of the things is that I'm a complete audiophile. I love music, so like I love how music influences people and like what their takes are. Like it doesn't matter what genre. It's more of just like how has it shaped you as a human being, you know?
Right, and I use music a lot to influence all of my designs.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you said that you're launching a clothing brand, I was like, oh, that's cool, man. And like, what was it? When I saw the clothes, it was like hentai on shirts, and I was
Right.
like, yo, this is get pop. This is dope. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
what was that? What was the main inspiration on that? Like,
You know what? I kind of just went and jumped.
mm,
I obviously, if you were on the internet back in like 2010,
mm-hmm.
you had a Tumblr. You
Yeah,
had to have a Tumblr if you were like a cool kid.
yeah,
Uh, so I was on Tumblr. Obviously, all I follow are just import models or hot girls in general,
mm-hmm.
funny memes, and like pictures, and of course, hentai.
Yeah,
Uh, I would always watch it with my girlfriend at the time.
mm,
And when I first started Four Eyes, I made a design that was like sporty, one that was kind of like cute and like good for everybody,
yeah,
and the other one was like quote unquote edgy. And for the last one, I had such a hard time deciding like what do I make to like finish up my collection. And as I was going through Tumblr, I was like, kind of like this hentai. Maybe I'll just like do a little thing here and there.
ah,
And that's when I made like lewd hearts,
oh shit,
my first ever design.
yeah,
And it's still like selling nowadays.
really? Oh yeah, no, I see
Yeah,
on the website. It's yeah, no, that's fucking dope. I
yeah. So that's, I guess from there, people have always shown it love,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know. It just really speaks to the people.
Got it. I've met you through mutual homegirl Barry, and then
Yeah.
there was one design that like I was in the room for that ideation, but then like it was like a little slap that said "send nudes" on
Oh,
on a noodle cup, and
yeah.
and like just speak on that ideation on that one because that one blew up and a lot of like people like ripped off that design.
It did, and it's still getting ripped off, and people don't really know about it.
Mm.
And so all right, so this is back then when like it was send nudes was like a meme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a big thing with me back then. It was like, oh, how do I get inspiration from like internet kids? And it was memes. That's
Hmm.
really clever. But I was like, how is everyone saying send nudes, but like hasn't made like a send nudes with noodles design?
Yeah.
And from there, I was like, what's the most popular noodle? Cup noodle. Like, of course,
Hmm.
like everyone has had to have a cup noodle. It's an iconic shape. It's literally in a cup, and it should go everywhere. So I looked at like the words of cup noodles. Everything was there. Did my own version of it,
Hmm.
and just made it up. And it wasn't until later where it got really popular that people started sharing it as the meme,
Yeah.
and then some people took it to print it.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's a real thing with art, especially now. Like, what is it? Something becomes a meme and becomes viral, and everyone tries to jump on it. It's like Amazon. Like everyone tries to jump on the ace and sell it. So like that's oh god.
pretty much. It's a savage world out there.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I heard that you even got hit with like a was it copyright claim from like Mario Chan or like one of those noodle companies, right?
Yeah, so I have no idea if it was true or false or not, but whatever. I'm just gonna mention their name. It was like the lawyers at Nestle. They sent me at first. They sent me an email about hey, they wanted to work with me over the design,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually really bad at responding to emails. So by like the third email they sent me, they're like, okay, obviously you're not responding to us, so we're gonna have to like enforce legal action. I was like, oh shit, I should really like respond to emails because back then I
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of orders, so no one really emailed me.
Mm.
And then finally I was like, all right, chill out, I'll take it down. It's all gone.
Because
Yeah,
I remember that because like when all that went down, was it you just had a stack of stickers like you want it like it's I can't sell this shit.
right. Yeah, honestly, I should have just like sold it anyway, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you live and learn and you move on, right? Like,
Yeah.
like all right, so like I met you like when you basically like released season 1. I know that every 3 months you release like a season. What season are you on now, man?
Oh man, I think I'm on like 21 or 22.
Oh, that's
At this time in my life, um, I was just about to stop doing seasons, or as I call them, volumes.
yeah.
It was getting a little too much for me, and
Mm,
COVID was getting really intense, and the production time was a lot slower.
yeah.
So we wanted to really focus on that. And if things are slower, then that means we can really push out quality.
Yeah.
And ever since COVID hit, we've been trying to do that, and it's been doing pretty well for us. So I think we're just gonna keep going with that.
Hey, man, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear, man. Like
Thanks.
seriously, cuz like cuz like all right, there's one conversation that we had. Okay, like I used to work in Monrovia. And then
Right.
for lunch, we actually had you live in the area, so like we had lunch at the Dicokia in
Yeah,
Arcadia.
I remember that. It was
Yeah,
in like a little like mall.
exactly. And there's no lines at the Dicokia, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. But like we would talk and like what was it? I remember there was an idea that I pitched to you like as like an aside was like, hey, like maybe like you could like go to the guys at Fickle Wish, rent some space in that store for so people get some visibility on your thing. He's like, yeah, like later down the line, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
And then fucking like 2 years later, like
it happened.
I see that collab, and I'm like, yo, this is fucking dope.
Yeah, I definitely don't think I would have done it by myself though.
Mm,
It was definitely suggested towards from a lot of people. It was you and this girl named Mabel.
mm,
She worked at Fickle Wish and she really liked my stuff.
that's
And
awesome.
it was a great relationship with me and Fickle Wish. So it's really sad to see them leave.
Yeah, I saw you post the was it support the workers of Fickle Wish that GoFundMe, which is really
Yeah,
cool. And
yeah,
like Fickle Wish, amazing people. I love them to death. And like, what is it like? You know, um, we all move on and like do bigger and better things as time goes on, right?
Exactly.
Here's the thing, like I've seen your growth. I've seen like how you've navigated the scene and whatnot, and like the there was one crazy like status update that you did last year where you're like, well, guess I have a new heart, and I was like, what? And for people that don't know, like can you speak on the on like the what you're going through and the experience for the heart transplant that you went through?
Sure. It's quite a roller coaster of a ride,
Hmm.
but it was actually like really short.
Hmm.
It was a short time in my life.
Hmm.
Um, this is actually last year in 2019, in June when I first started feeling it.
Hmm.
Um, this is a great PSA for everyone that's like an artist or just like lazy in general. Uh, you know, it's a good thing to see if you have these. But at first, I had a little hard time breathing. And
Hmm.
it's not like the panting you would expect, like um, when you're working out or like going up like 50 flights of stairs.
Hmm.
This is like breathing normally is tough.
Hmm.
And so it was after like, oh, maybe I'm just like hungover, or I just played it off. I was like, I'm totally fine. Like I've gone through worse.
Hmm.
But then this was like an underlying thing that has never really happened before.
Yeah.
And so, long story short,
Hmm.
I came back from a convention. That's when the breathing situation happened.
Yeah.
And after about a week or so, um, I just almost couldn't breathe.
Oh wow.
It was like really low, and I basically passed out from just walking across my kitchen.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so I texted my mom like right before I blacked out,
Yeah.
and I was like, I have no energy. I
Mm.
can't go to the doctor. Um, I don't even think I said like I just said can't can't go doctors, no energy.
Wow.
And then I just fell asleep. And then she came home and took me to the emergency room.
Yeah.
From there in the emergency room, they took all my vitals. They noticed that like my heart rate was like a little high, but nothing too crazy.
Hmm.
Um, Blood pressure fine, everything looked fine. So it was really a big issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't until they did, I believe, a CAT scan and they saw a liquid around my heart.
Oh wow.
So that liquid actually comes from the muscles around it because there's no oxygen.
Oh.
So there's no oxygen because my heart wasn't like pumping enough. And my heart wasn't pumping enough because there was like a thrombus in one of the arteries.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that thrombus was because it wasn't pumping hard enough to like push the thrombus out.
Yeah.
And the heart wasn't pumping hard enough because it was basically like inflamed or scarred, or it went through a lot before.
Hmm.
Uh, it's hard to really tell where that scarring or inflammation came from as well.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, they don't really give me like a exact thing because it's kind of hard to tell when like, it just comes up,
Yeah.
especially for a young person. This is a huge spike downward in their life. Like I was going around drinking every weekend, smoking whatever. I was doing everything right,
Yeah.
just as any other like normal person would. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, it's like, hey, I can't breathe.
That's crazy,
Right.
man.
Um. So then this was, I believe, late June,
Hmm.
about like June 27th. I got admitted to the hospital.
Yeah.
I got admitted to the hospital, and then they put like a pump inside me.
Hmm.
And so the pump is like in my groin area, not my
Yeah.
penis area,
Yeah.
but it's like a lot of people get confused about that. But it's like where your leg meets your torso.
Yeah.
It's like where it bends. So
Hmm.
right there is where it is.
Hmm.
And so that's where a major artery is. So they put a pump in there, basically like a tube,
Yeah.
and that tube blows up like a little like stretchy animal balloon.
Yeah, yeah,
It's basically like that, and it blows up and down, and that helps the heart arteries like go up and down, so the heart doesn't have to work as hard.
yeah.
So because I had to be there, I couldn't walk. I was
Ooh,
supposed to lay in bed, and the most I could do is like move my arms and move my torso. But I can't. My body has to be straight.
yeah.
So yeah, that was for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and then my local hospital's like, you can't be here, or else you'll die. So we need to admit you to a better hospital.
Yeah.
So that's when they moved me to Cedar Sinai.
Hmm.
It's all the way in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
It's like one of the top hospitals in the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great hospital. It's a great team. They're all like top of the line. All the nurses were super nice. Um, I wrote a lot about it on my personal like Instagram story.
Yeah.
Um, and if I had to really cut it short, it was basically we were waiting 2 weeks to
Mm-hmm.
see if my body would improve by itself. Because usually for young people, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes they would come in, sometimes they would leave, sometimes they would need to stay for a heart. They were really hoping I would leave.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, they were really looking at the facts and noticing that things weren't looking too well. So in the next 2 weeks after, it was talking about we have to get him stable enough to make sure he gets a heart, and then go through the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming like when you get like heart surgery or like a heart transplant, like you have no idea what it's like. Like, can life be the same? Is it
Mm.
different? I
Yeah.
was so like I've never even thought that this could happen. I thought I was just gonna have like cancer when I like get older, or whatever.
Yeah.
But instead, I had a heart transplant. I don't think I've ever met anybody with a transplant.
Yeah.
And so they assured me that things actually feel really normal, like
Mm.
more normal than like anything else. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, you can play basketball, you can like do whatever you want, you can eat pretty much everything you want, except for like 5 things.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just be healthy. I was like, that's fine. And then in the back of my head, I was like, damn, I can't really get drunk anymore. Shit. Damn.
Fucking hell, like, cause like I read that personal that story that you wrote on Facebook, and that it was like the details you went. It was just super raw, super visceral. Like the and when you were at the hospital, how long was that? Like at Cedar Sinai, like how long was that time?
It was actually like a month. So it was about 4 weeks, and
Wow.
then a week of like therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's when after I got the heart surgery, they give you a week minimum to stay there, make sure you can walk again, physical therapy, and basically learn what to do with your new heart.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I had to like I was in bed for 4 weeks. I was skin and bones. I lost like 25, 35 pounds. And I was only
Wow.
like 165 before. So when I
Yeah.
came out, I was skin and bones. I was dead skinny.
But after that whole ordeal, man, like when you got the new heart, and like how has your lifestyle been now? Like what do you do to keep up, like do you keep like a healthy lifestyle? Do you do more of the same? Like what was that change like from like post heart surgery?
You know, it's a little, it feels really good,
Mm,
obviously, because I'm healthy, doing really well in my life.
yeah.
Uh, I still miss everything I used to do.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm always surrounded by it, especially the people in the scene and even my friends. They smoke and drink.
Yeah.
They just like smoke away from me, or even if I drink, I only drink a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a big change in that part. But it hasn't like distorted my life too much.
Mm.
So considering my casual life, I eat really healthy now.
Mm.
But that just means like I don't have to have a salad for lunch. I have a little wrap. I have
Yeah.
like a little turkey wrap, and it's full of like spinach and whole wheat tortillas with turkey breast instead of chicken, which is
Yeah.
like a healthier option.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes for a lot of my meals where I asked them when I got out, I was like, "Oh, Thanksgiving is coming up. How do I get through this? Because I have to be healthy, right?" And they're like, "It's fine. It's like once like out of the year you gotta go crazy." But they're like, if you can eat more vegetables, eat as many vegetables that you want. Vegetables are like perfect for you.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. Vegetables are great. I can like do one binge a year, but
Mm.
they told me like every week or so you can have a cheat meal. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Mm. Very much so.
Yeah. So other than that, other than like diet, which was like a big part of my life,
Yeah.
exercise. They said like the best thing you can do is just walk.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really simple. There's like, yeah, if you can just walk every day, 30 minutes, an hour, 10,000 steps,
Yeah.
you're pretty much good. And so that was my physical therapy.
Oh,
Like after I got out, I was walking,
got it.
and it was tough, man. I like after maybe like 10, 15 minutes of walking,
Yeah.
or maybe like after I walked a mile, like just like on like flat ground,
Yeah.
I was sweating. I was out of
Uh,
breath. And then now I'm like, yeah, let's go walk like 4 miles for fun.
that's no, that's 4 miles.
Yeah, 4 miles is around like 10,000 steps, maybe four, maybe 3 or 4. It
That's
depends like what kind of person you are.
damn. That's awesome though. Like it's cool that yeah. What is it? That you know, keeping up healthy health habits and whatnot, and like
Yeah,
just moving forward, man. Like it's because
you'd be
like yeah.
surprised, but 10,000 steps is actually not that much. If you ever walked around for more than like 2 or 3 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
you're set. You're pretty much set.
Yeah, most definitely. Cause it's one of those things where like for me like I act really young, but like I'm 30, so like I'm getting up there in age. So it's like like my knees, my ankles, like they're not like functioning like they used to. So like I've been like doing yoga. I've been
That's awesome.
eating a lot better. Like doing nutrition. There like during the quarantine, I was like running in at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I
Like
would love to run again.
yeah, but it's one of those things where like yeah no like the more you grow up, the more like you just have to maintain your body, and like youth can't like bring you through like all the situations, right?
Oh, for sure. I think I used that for a lot of my life, and I can really feel like all the food I just take inside me now.
When it comes down to it, like I've run into you in very like anime based like situations, like anime conventions. Like there was like the first time I met you was like an anime meetup. Um, what what were your like favorite animes growing up, and like are you watching anything now or and whatnot?
I think everyone's favorites. No, I can't say that.
Hmm.
I know a lot of my friends who watch anime that I just did not want to watch.
Like, what were a couple of them?
I know my girlfriend at the time, she watched like Black Butler,
Uh,
and sad to say, I did not watch Naruto. Like, I didn't watch
oh,
a lot of it until like this month or like last month.
oh, really?
Yeah, so I finished all of Shippuden, and I really understand why people really like it.
Because like, because like, I spoke on this like a couple in a couple podcasts, but when it comes to like anime and people suggesting anime to me, like I like when I find anime, like when I find it myself, and then like it's
Right.
like the thing that I enjoy, and if I find other people that enjoy it, great. But then if someone's like, you have to watch the series, it's great. I'm like, maybe, you know?
Right? I think it's them hyping it up as like, it's always the hype that gets me off.
Yeah, like what is it? What are like what's a like a like what's a series that you enjoy that not many people like would think that you enjoy?
Um, Man, I love rom-coms.
Mm. Nah, same man.
I don't know, man. Something about them rom-coms hit like so good.
Like what?
They make you feel so like fluffy inside.
Yeah, like I love going to an anime season and just like seeing like a shoujo anime or like something and it fills up my empathy meter, you know.
Right.
So like what are your favorite rom coms, man?
I remember My Love Story,
Mm.
the big guy and the little
Yeah.
girl.
Or
Or
Monogatari, man.
I always butcher this name, but it's like what Tokoi?
Oh,
It's
Wotakoi?
like yeah, it's like corporate office workers and they're all adults and it was really good to like see people that are like around my age who are also like big nerds and they're all different, going through like real problems.
Yeah. No, Wotakoi is definitely like one of my favorites. Like, if there's one thing that I like from Amazon's like video streaming service was that they brought Wotakoi to the West.
Yeah. And I think Amazon also has a really good show called Vinland Saga.
Ooh, yeah, no, Vinland.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, but I think it's on my list.
Yeah, like like I like the manga. It's this thing of when I was watching the anime, the thing that like threw me off a bit was like when I heard Leaf Erikson Sama, and I started like was like that's a sentence.
That's a little different for me.
Yeah. No, but it's like the animation's great. What was it?
Right.
The anime is is good. But like when I heard like Leaf Erikson Sama, and I was like, wow, that's
You can just leave the Sama out of it.
yeah, it's like Leaf Erikson.
Uh,
But yeah, now I feel that. But uh, what's a thing that like that um what is one thing that not many people know that you're a big nerd of?
I can tell you that I'm actually not a big anime nerd.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one of all. Like
Got it.
I actually watch a lot of other shows, not just anime.
Most definitely. Like, what are some shows that you dig?
You know, if it goes just for like Netflix, I would say I love the show Maniac. It's only
Mm,
one season, but I swear by it, it's amazing.
I gotta check that out. Shoot.
Um, BoJack Horseman was
Mm,
like a ridiculous story that I loved it. Um, I used to watch The Bachelor with my friends, The Bachelorette. You know, that was a thing.
that's what's up.
I love food shows and like learning everything about food.
Mm,
Like right now, I'm learning how to make hot sauce and maybe pickles.
yo.
Right.
Yeah. No.
But for HBO, I really suggest getting HBO Max. Actually,
Really.
HBO Max is. This may sound like a commercial. HBO
Yeah.
sponsor me, but they just work with Crunchyroll, so they have some shows like Bungo Stray Dogs. But most
Oh.
importantly, they have all the Ghibli films
Wait.
for streaming.
Wait. HBO has that.
That's what they all have. That's what
Fuck.
they have. So Netflix in America doesn't have the Ghibli films, but Netflix all across the globe does. But HBO Max for America, they have Ghibli,
Nice. Oh shit.
and I think that's a part of like Ghibli's plan. Is Ghibli really puts out quality content
Yeah.
and like quality filming services or like just quality pieces of quote unquote art,
Mm-hmm.
and Ghibli is a part of that. Like HBO Max has, um, oh my god, I totally forgot the name, but it's the one in like Russia about like the nuclear place,
Crap.
whatever. But they have
Chernobyl.
Insecure, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl was a show. It was a great show,
Hmm.
and they have obviously had Game of Thrones. They had Barry, Insecure, Veep. All these shows like won awards, and they're really good. Right now, I just finished like a cartoon called Infinity Train.
Oh,
Highly, it is amazing.
oh my
I
God!
just finished it.
Don't get me started on Infinity Train. Holy shit! I
Oh
love that
my,
series.
it is so good.
It's such a
It was amazing,
It's
and I haven't
solid.
had time to tell anybody yet. I was like, genius, complete genius.
Yeah, dude. Like there was like Cartoon Network released the one shot um of Infinity Train with fuck, I forget the first girl's name, but like they released that back in 2015, 2016, and
Right.
it was just like a pilot episode, and like it caught fire on the internet, and then they released the whole first season, which I love, and then
Hmm.
like I didn't even know they made a second and third season, but
Yeah.
I caught up with those two seasons. I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like I like how they approach each season.
And me too, because like the season 2 and 3, they felt comparable to Westworld,
Yeah, seriously,
and
yeah,
Westworld is also on HBO, and which is also a big like mind boggler. Um, and that's why I think like I'm obviously a huge anime fan, but there are times when anime can only do so much for me,
yeah.
and I love the community for it. But there are shows out there that do so much more.
Exactly. No, I
Yeah.
feel that, and it's one of those things where like, yeah, your clothing brand's pegged as like hentai on wardrobe and whatnot, and you appeal to that market really well, but not not everybody is just gonna be in that lane. You know, you could have different lanes and be in that industry. You know.
Yeah, of course. And I think that I'm sure a lot of designers would say the same, but art comes from everywhere.
Yeah, and I feel that. So like when it comes to designing in general then like you have your Four Eyes clothing brand. Has there ever been a moment where you wanted to like start like another brand with a different aesthetic and different feel?
Oh yeah, I have like two on my head right now.
Really? Like do you want to speak on it or just like leave it as is?
It's a little top secret,
Got it.
but I can definitely tell you that my other plans in the future are to make like event style. One company would make event style like projects.
Yeah.
So music events, pop-up shops,
Hmm.
just events to really like bring people together that obviously like anime, but like another thing as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely still on the base core of Four Eyes where we're trying to integrate
Yeah.
two things, integrate worlds.
That's awesome. No, like,
And
yeah, good.
yeah, my other idea was I wanted to open up an agency.
Yo.
Um, yeah, it was a creative agency or a business development agency where I would help out small brands like one on one and teach them like business practices that I've learned or that they can use in the future.
Mhm.
Or if they're like, hey, I noticed like you're doing this a little rough, maybe we can find a better way for you to figure out how to get through this. Or if they just don't know how to like do social media, they don't know how to do customer service, they don't even know how to do their taxes, whatever it may be.
I, I think the last one's probably like one of the big ones for
you know,
yeah, but I digress.
yeah, there's like times where a lot of people always ask me for advice, and I was like, dude, I don't know. Like I had to ask like my parents, or I had to ask a friend.
Yeah.
But them asking me, I was like, oh, I had a really creative idea for you though.
Hmm.
And just as the saying goes, if you're good at something, don't do it for free.
Yeah. No, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
first time I met you, like when I went over to your house, and like I was like, hey, what was it? I want to buy one of your shirts, and like I what was it? I wanted to make sure that like I'm not here going like, hey, can you give me a shirt for free? I'm like, no, here's some cash. I want to support your art. You know, like that's one of the big things that I see. Like, I it's a good push for moving forward that people are deciding to support artists' art and not just
Right.
like try to take advantage of people. You know?
Right. And I think that's really important for like people to do where some people won't take the money. And I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like take the money.
Yeah.
But if you want to give me like a little more in there, I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I would love that. If you like, here, I want to buy this shirt, and it's like, here, wait, let me add some stickers and like a keychain with it. I was like, I would love it. I appreciate this so much. And then I would return the favor and like let me post on my Instagram
Exactly.
or like all my socials.
Yeah, and like the probably the one thing that is like the unsung hero for good business is just having a solid network and having surrounding yourself with good people that know common decency, you know.
Exactly. And a lot of like, I've seen it from a lot of like young kids. They don't really know any better,
Mm,
but always asking for free stuff. Is like, oh, they don't really understand yet that this is what you should do because it's actually a marketing thing um, that I learned. It's if you want to go far, all you gotta do is just help people.
yeah,
That's all you gotta do. Just help people like to achieve their dreams. Just help them, and then you're gonna do great. They might pay you one day.
I totally agree. Like I'm coming at it from a freelancer's perspective, like where, like my main thing is taking photos, right? So
Yeah,
if was it, and I said this in like another podcast, but if people tell good stories about you as a freelancer, then people then like because like my whole thing is that I don't know where my next gig is gonna come from, right? Like I don't
right.
know uh, who's listening and who's watching me, and sometimes I get like gigs that from places that I didn't expect. Like I did a I did a cosplayer's headshot, and he ended up being a Twitch streamer, and then one of his viewers actually like he credited me, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I saw you on Kelp Help's live stream. I love that photo. I want to work with you." And then like I got a couple gigs in Portland because of it. So, like I don't know where my next gig's gonna come from. So like if someone's like telling a good story from about me, then like it opens up more avenues and more bridges rather than burning them. You know.
Exactly. I love that. That's such a great example of like what a good network can do. It's just more opportunities.
Exactly. And I because like the main reason why I started this podcast, other than like COVID and whatnot, is that I can't. There's no conventions. Like COVID's a thing. Like
Right.
we have to be safe. And the thing I love about conventions the most isn't like taking all these pictures or like you know like and all that. It's mainly to keep up with like people that I've met in the scene and seeing where they progressed, and having a conversation with them, right?
Exactly.
And so like I'm using this podcast as a way for me to have conversations with these people, and you being one of them, which I'm really happy that you came on.
Thank you. I
You know,
really like having the talk with you.
I know exactly. Like it's every single time. Like it would be like, what is it? I'd see it at the booth, and we would chop it up, and then like when a lot of people show up, I'll be like, hey, I'll take it easy, man. I'm head out. Like I don't want to like
Yeah.
overstay my welcome, you know.
But like every time we meet up, there's always something new with you. I really like that.
Yeah, I like trying things, you know.
Yeah. And I wish like the same for others, Like has something changed for the better? And I really like that.
Yeah, no,
You've always tried.
yeah, it's what is it? It's this podcast, it's photography. Like I'm doing stand up comedy now, and that is
Oh,
a that is a thing,
oh, I've always wanted to try.
dude. Like like the way I say it is that stand up comedy is cheaper than therapy, so like I like being able to form my thoughts and saying it to people, because like I knew if I started when I was 20, it would be pretentious. Like I would be trying to be like the next Chappelle or some
Right.
yeah, like it would be pretentious. But like now that I've lived my life, I have not like lived my life. Like there's still like way more life to go, but like I have a good barometer of like what humanity is and how I view it, and that I want to share that point of view, because no one's gonna speak for me except for myself, you know.
Yeah. I
So
really feel that because
good.
I think that was one of I think that was one of my life like mantras,
Mm.
is to really be different.
Yeah.
And that really goes for a thing, especially in the Asian community.
Yeah, right?
Everything is so cookie cutter, and even the people are so cookie cutter. And I understand the aesthetic, and everyone wants to be this way, and the beauty standards and everything.
Yeah.
But I think ever since I was young, I've always wanted to be this punk ass little bitch. Like, I've always wanted, like, I remember watching Tom and Jerry when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
then Jerry had a mohawk, and I was like, I want that. And they're like, do you know why? I was like, because it looks cool. And then, like, I don't know. It's just like my parents are like, all right, let's give you a comb over. I was like, wow, it's not what I wanted. um, and yeah, I remember always like being like a black sheep or just
Mm.
not as athletic or just being like obviously really weird. But you know, people still love me.
Yeah.
But I always look out for a Kevin Nguyen,
Yeah.
and I try to be not like him.
For I grew up in Cerritos, so for me it was instead of Kevin Wynn, it was Daniel Kim.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, I but no, I feel that because
Fair.
like it's one of those things where like I don't know, like for the thing is like whenever I run into like people from high school and they're like, oh my gosh, you're a photographer, you travel around, you do all these anime conventions and all that, like that's so cool. And like they're like, I have a kid, and and like they're married and all that. And I'm not saying that like domesticity and like having a stable lifestyle is a bad thing. Like if that's your jam, go for it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But for
Like,
yeah, but go ahead.
go on, go
Oh,
on.
but for me, it was more just like I want to do the things that make me happy, and if the things that make me happy pay me along the way, that's fine. But I'm not looking to like acquire a massive amount of wealth. I want to have a very cool, interesting lifestyle that I could look back and said I lived my life. You know?
Right, right. I definitely want to think the same thing.
Mm,
For some reason, I've always had those thoughts in my head as like, how much can I do in my lifetime that I want to do, right?
yeah.
And so I think my phase of like being crazy punk is gonna be over one day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when like I'll obviously settle down and like have a kid, and there'll be like maybe half punk, but essentially, I do want that like quote unquote boring life
Yeah.
because it's just nice. It's nice to just chill out after like years and years of going wild. But I didn't want to be wild when I
Yeah.
was 40. I'd rather just do it now when I'm 20.
Exactly. And I feel that because I'm really excited to get old. You know, like I'm excited to like what is it like my time has come. And like I get to like sit back and watch like more people come up in the scene and like and that's cool with me. Like have at it. I want to see this next evolution of like of creatives that come up. You know?
I agree. I as even for 5 years on Instagram and seeing TikTok blow up,
Yeah.
this age of like just influencers turning into like e-boys and e-girls,
Yeah.
I actually really like them. They're a little feisty and soft, and I really vibe with that. I really like
It's
dig the energy.
yeah. It's like I feel like this next generation of like creatives that are coming out like we were in a we came up when like we knew a life when YouTube wasn't a thing, you know,
Yes,
and like we knew like we knew what dial up looked like. We knew like we knew what that world was, but these kids have had high speed internet since they were infants, you know.
Right.
Like, I want to see that social experiment happen, like where like I run into the people that were like memes were like the way they learned how to read, and that's it's intriguing but scary at the same shit at the same time, you know?
Exactly. I know, like, um, some quote unquote company contacted me. They're like, "Oh, hi, we have like a group of influencers," and they're all like 18, 19. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm 10 years older than you." And thinking it back about like 10 years ago, oh my gosh, I was like in high school,
For real.
and you were like a fucking baby. And so when I was a baby, I was like, I didn't have anything. What the heck?
No, I feel that, man. Like, it's it's crazy. Like, what did they contact you for?
They just wanted to like make some content and just cross market.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so when it comes to like people contacting you through the years, like how has that dynamic changed from like being someone that wasn't known to like being this brand that people recognize?
I think no matter what, there's always going to be two types of people. Um, there's people, actually four types technically.
Yeah.
Uh, like people who don't really know you, and people who do know you.
Hmm.
And then the other part of the chart would be people who are shy and people who are just not shy. And so you can definitely say like, oh, people who are not shy definitely tend to stay back a little bit. If they don't know you, they just stay away from home brand in general.
Yeah.
If they do know you and they're shy, they're afraid to reach out.
Hmm.
But if they're confident and they don't know you, they are definitely going to try to be like, can I have some free stuff? Like, do you need help, like influencing, or can I get a code or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
for real, right?
But if they're confident and they know who you are, then they want to like try to work their way up to you, or
Hmm.
like, hey, I had this idea in mind, and be real professional about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. Like, cause like with those four people, it's consistent through any creative field. I think, you know.
I agree.
So like I've run into this with photography. I've run into this with stand up comedy, and it's disgusting when it comes to stand up comedy. Like,
Really.
yeah, people are cutthroat. Like, especially in Hollywood. Holy shit!
Jesus.
Like everyone,
Uh,
I think I'm gonna cut this part out, but like everyone wants to suck Joe Rogan's dick so bad when he comes to the store.
oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's like it's just like and it sucks because like for me, like I'm not touching the store until I feel like I'm ready, you know?
Right, right,
Like I don't want to just say like I'm a stand-up comedian. I want to be good, you know?
right.
So it's more of just like building my 5 minutes, my 15 minutes, however much time I have to like to make sure that like if people ask me to do it on the drop of a hat, I'm able to do that. Same thing with photography. If I'm able to like to get the shot within 15 seconds, that's like where my practice goes towards.
Right. Because that's what practice is, right? You practice just to do it faster.
Exactly, and more efficient.
Yes.
Oh man, yo, okay,
Yeah.
so dude, this was an awesome conversation, man. Like real talk.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
How long has it been?
it's 58 minutes.
Okay, if you want to keep going, I can keep going.
Okay. Um, let's let's go into this then. When it comes to it, what's some advice that you'd give any new brand owner for a clothing brand? Uh, when it comes to like what was something that you didn't think was gonna be a problem but became a problem?
I see this with a lot of brand owners nowadays. It's definitely branding yourself.
Mm.
It's these corporate terms are really good to know because they actually help you organize your thoughts and your processes. I tell everyone this, especially if they're starting off in my internship.
Yeah.
Or I just told my intern, I was like, "Oh, this is what I thought through,"
Mm.
and it's just a really easy chart. You can definitely find it online, but
Yeah.
for me, I was scattered all over the place. So if you can really find your like brand image, and then you find your brand voice, you find your brand everything, right? A brand is basically another entity. It's
Mm.
basically another person or thing that you created.
Mm.
And so if you're able to find people who like your brand or who whatever your brand, you put them into like categories, and then that's your audience. And there's you can have different audiences as well.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always tell them is like, oh, make sure you like brand yourself really well, and then you find your audience, because you don't expect to sell hentai stuff to a Republican 50-year-old, do you? It's like,
Yeah.
no,
For
you want to look for like people of color or weebs that are like in high school or college
yeah.
that are like that would wear this casually.
W-
And so that goes for other things like you can definitely get more into it. Is like, okay, you're not gonna sell like a gory shirt to a super kawaii girl. So don't work with those influencers who are just super pretty.
yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work that way.
Mm. No, most definitely. It's definitely like knowing your lane and how to appeal to your the demographic that like will buy your product, right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, because oh man, because like probably the one like I always bring this to myself. Shit, my bad. But like if there's one thing that I always wanted like people to know about like my brand name Remcreate like at all is like when I interact with people, I just want to be as 100% genuine. Like I'm enthusiastic when I talk to you like all the fucking time because I'm like, yo, no, you've been doing work. Like
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and it's one of those things where like I want that enthusiasm that my genuine like uh my genuine thoughts to be my name brand. So like
Yeah,
yeah, so that's where like the stand-up comedy and the photography comes in where like people was it there's people that know me and there's a lot of people that don't know me and I'm here with a loud mic going like yo I'm fucking here what's up.
I feel you, and that's definitely one of the things that I had to learn, um, like in the beginning stages of Four Eyes,
Yeah.
was to be really genuine with myself,
Mm.
and it was tough, especially growing up. As I told you, I've always wanted to be a punk, and in the world of like all these Asians,
Yeah.
and so I had to really be true to myself. I was like, okay, what am I? What do I like? What I not like? What am I? Yeah, etc., etc. So like to this day, I'm still like trying to like get it all down.
No, no and same for me like because like there's some deep-seated like demons that I'm still exercising to this day where I'm like I'm holding on to like those demons for dear life, but at the same time I'm like, no, that's stupid. Like, fucking just like speak it out and like be done with it, you know. But it's one of those things where when when confronting yourself and being genuine, you know, it's rough because like there's things that you're not like there's things that you cringe at. Like like there's at least like 5 moments in the day where like I would remember something that I did back when I was 19, 17, 25, and then I would just cringe, go like, why did I say that?
All the time,
Yeah,
all the time.
and it's consistent with like a lot of people, and like probably the one thing I want um, creatives to be more vocal and more confident in is that like be proud of your work, you know, like
Yeah,
there's always this like thing of like downplaying your work because you don't want to seem braggadocious and like a douchebag. But if you're genuine about liking your work and like and like it's not like you're trying to say like, oh, I'm not that good, blah blah, blah. Like people, when they constantly say that, they start believing it, you know.
Yeah,
So
I
like
agree.
I want that healthy discussion of, yeah, no, like let me see your work. Let me see what you've been working on, man. Like I want to be able to like appreciate other people's art and their take on how they approach things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
yeah, good.
everyone, no, everyone's different.
Yeah. Man, thank you again for coming on. This was really fun.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Uh, Obviously, we're both friends, and this has been really cool. And thanks for bringing up all those really cool topics. Not many people talked about my heart situation on a podcast yet, or asked me these personal questions. So it's been really fun.
Hey man, anytime, dude. Like what is it? I want to stray away from like just asking the cookie cutter questions and being like a nerd about the guests that I have and be more concise, you know?
Love it. Love the energy.
Hey, and what is it? Tell the people where they can find you. What is it? And some last words you could say to the Forest Clothing brand buyers out there.
Sure. So you can find me at iiiiClothing.com. Remember, you spell that with the letter I, and you press it 4 times, and then clothing. Not four eyes, FLUR. Not that way, but the letter I. And it would be the same thing across all social medias. It would be I clothing. Uh, Follow my Instagram for all the cool pics. My Twitter is where I just rant and do random stuff. My TikTok is alright, whatever. Don't go on Facebook. There's nothing there.
Got it.
But for everyone who's a buyer, I can promise you things are only going to get better for boys and for girls. I'm really excited about the future of what we can offer. And go to Hot Topic and Spencer's because we currently have some shirts there as well. And
Yeah,
you
there
didn't
you
hear
go.
from me, but there will be other stores.
Yo, that's dope. And thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, this my name is Ray, aka Remcreate. This is Brian Four Eyes. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys very much, and have a good night. All right.
Bye.